Trump versus Poilievre. Comparing immigration policies in the US and Canada. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and timely comparison of two leaders with dramatically different visions for immigration. Donald Trump and Pierre Poilievre. Immigration policies in both the United States and Canada are facing intense scrutiny as countries grapple with balancing economic growth, public sentiment, and strained infrastructure. From Trump's hardline restrictions to Poilievre's pragmatic focus on aligning immigration with housing and labor market needs, this is a topic that affects millions of lives, and it's one you don't want to miss. As we go deeper, we'll explore how these leaders approach integrating immigrants into their respective countries. It's a tale of restriction versus capacity building, and by the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what these policies mean for the future of immigration in North America. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our in-depth analysis and updates. Let's get started. The problem: balancing immigration and infrastructure. Immigration policy has become one of the most debated issues in both the United States and Canada. As of January 2025, both nations face the challenge of balancing economic needs with infrastructure capacity. In the United States, Donald Trump's restrictive immigration agenda has reignited debates, while in Canada, public concern over high immigration targets and housing shortages has influenced Pierre Poilievre's proposed approach. Despite their differences, both leaders address shared challenges: strained infrastructure, limited housing, and labor market demands. Yet, their responses reflect starkly contrasting ideologies and policy solutions. Trump's approach: restriction and national security. Under Donald Trump's presidency, immigration became central to his political platform, with policies that emphasized reducing immigration numbers and prioritizing American workers. His administration introduced sweeping changes to both legal and illegal immigration frameworks. Key policies: 1. Border wall and enforcement. Trump's most recognized immigration initiative was the construction of a wall along the US-Mexico border. This project symbolized his administration's hardline stance on illegal immigration. Complemented by a zero-tolerance policy, it led to an increase in detentions and deportations, as well as the controversial separation of families at the border. 2. Travel bans and refugee reductions. Trump implemented a travel ban targeting predominantly Muslim-majority countries, citing national security concerns. Refugee admissions were drastically reduced, with fewer than 15,000 refugees admitted annually by the end of his term. 3. Merit-based immigration. Trump proposed shifting the U.S. immigration system to prioritize skilled workers over family sponsorships, though substantial reforms were not achieved during his presidency. 4. Work visa restrictions. Trump suspended and tightened regulations on H-1B and other work visas, arguing that foreign labor displaced American workers. These restrictions created challenges for industries that rely on highly skilled professionals, particularly in technology and healthcare. Canada's immigration system. Poilievre's pragmatism. Canada's immigration policies are often seen as inclusive, but rising public concerns about housing and infrastructure strain have led to calls for more measured targets. Pierre Poilievre's approach reflects a desire to balance immigration levels with Canada's ability to provide adequate housing and public services. Key proposals. 1. Adjusting immigration targets. Poilievre proposes linking immigration levels to housing capacity, ensuring that newcomers can access affordable homes without exacerbating the existing housing crisis. 2. Prioritizing skilled workers. Unlike Trump's restrictive visa policies, Poilievre advocates for prioritizing skilled immigrants to address labor shortages in healthcare, construction, and technology. He emphasizes faster credential recognition to help newcomers integrate into the workforce more efficiently. 3. Capping temporary residents and international students. Poilievre highlights concerns over the growing number of temporary residents and international students, proposing caps to ensure educational institutions and communities can provide adequate support. 4. Emphasizing integration. Poilievre focuses on sustainable integration, maintaining support for family sponsorship and refugee programs while advocating for policies that ensure newcomers have the resources they need to succeed. The economic angle. Who benefits from immigration? Immigration is often framed as essential for economic growth. Trump and Poilievre recognize its importance but differ in their strategies. Trump's economic strategy. Trump focused on protecting American jobs by restricting visas and reducing legal immigration, arguing that these measures safeguarded opportunities for domestic workers. However, industries such as technology and healthcare that depend on skilled international talent faced setbacks. Poilievre's economic vision. Poilievre emphasizes leveraging immigration to address labor shortages in key sectors, aiming to build a system where immigrants contribute effectively without overburdening public services. His approach seeks to strike a balance between economic growth and sustainability. Public opinion and political context. Public sentiment plays a crucial role in shaping immigration policy. U.S. Polarization and nationalism. In the United States, immigration remains a divisive issue. Trump's policies resonated with supporters who viewed immigration as a threat to national security and cultural identity. Meanwhile, critics labeled his approach xenophobic, leading to ongoing polarization. Canada. Growing concern over sustainability. Canada has historically embraced immigration, but rising public concern over infrastructure and housing has prompted calls for more practical targets. Poilievre's proposals reflect this shift, aiming to address these concerns without alienating Canada's commitment to multiculturalism. A shared struggle with perception and prioritization. Both nations face a delicate balancing act in managing public expectations while addressing real infrastructure challenges. In the U.S., partisan divides amplify debates over whether immigration strengthens or weakens the economy, with each side deeply entrenched in their views. In Canada, the discourse has shifted toward practical concerns, such as housing availability and healthcare capacity, rather than ideological divides. These contrasting dynamics underscore how public opinion shapes not just the tone of immigration policies but also their long-term feasibility. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. Let's now dive deeper into the differences between these leaders' approaches to integration and sustainability. Integration versus restriction. A tale of two approaches. When it comes to integrating immigrants, Trump and Poilievre offer distinct visions. Trump's enforcement-driven policies. Trump prioritized enforcement over integration, directing resources toward border security and detention centers rather than programs like language training or job placement services. Poilievre's focus on capacity building. Poilievre emphasizes building infrastructure to support newcomers. His proposals include linking immigration targets to housing availability and streamlining credential recognition, ensuring immigrants are integrated into the workforce quickly and effectively. The broader impact of integration strategies. The long-term outcomes of these integration strategies are likely to diverge significantly. Policies that emphasize enforcement, like Trump's, may create a cycle of isolation and limited upward mobility for immigrant communities, potentially leading to social and economic disparities. In contrast, Poilievre's focus on integration through housing and workforce support positions immigrants as active contributors to Canada's economic and social fabric. These differences highlight how integration policies can shape the long-term success and cohesion of immigrant populations within their host countries. Impact on refugees and family sponsorships. Trump's cuts to humanitarian programs. Trump's administration significantly reduced refugee admissions and proposed limiting family sponsorship eligibility to immediate relatives, reflecting a narrower view of humanitarian immigration. These policies prioritize security and resource allocation but drew criticism for undermining the U.S.'s historical role as a global leader in providing refuge. Poilievre's commitment to inclusivity. Poilievre has not called for reductions in family sponsorships or refugee programs. Instead, he advocates for ensuring the system can support these groups effectively, reinforcing Canada's humanitarian commitments. His approach reflects a recognition of Canada's identity as a multicultural nation and its obligation to uphold global standards of compassion. Shaping public perception of immigrants. These contrasting approaches also influence public perception of refugees and family-sponsored immigrants. Trump's policies framed these groups as potential burdens, contributing to divisive rhetoric that often alienated immigrant communities. Meanwhile, Poilievre's emphasis on sustainability and integration projects a message of inclusion while addressing practical concerns, fostering a more balanced and constructive dialogue about the contributions of these immigrants to Canadian society. Solutions to the problem. The immigration challenges faced by the United States and Canada demand practical solutions. For the U.S., balancing security and humanity. Shifting to a merit-based system, as Trump proposed, could enhance economic outcomes, but it requires robust integration support. Balancing enforcement with humane policies is essential to maintaining trust and fairness in the system. For Canada, aligning growth with infrastructure. Poilievre's plan to tie immigration targets to housing capacity offers a realistic solution to sustainability challenges. Streamlining credential recognition and focusing on skilled immigration can maximize economic benefits while ensuring smoother integration. As we've seen, Donald Trump and Pierre Poilievre offer distinct approaches to immigration, shaped by the unique challenges and priorities of their countries. Trump emphasizes restriction and enforcement, while Poilievre focuses on balancing immigration with Canada's infrastructure and housing realities. Both leaders highlight the complexity of immigration policy, but their contrasting visions reveal much about the future of North America's approach to immigration. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to Canada Chronicles and turn on notifications. What do you think of these policies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Canada Chronicles.